Hello, everyone. Welcome to Addis Accent. Addis Accent is a place where authentic, true life stories, especially immigrant stories, are discussed and reflected, and some meaningful conversations comes out with people that are building lives in North America and beyond. Today, we are delighted to have Titi. Titi, welcome to Addis Accent. She's an immigrant, she's a wife, she is a mother and author of two incredible books. And she is also an independent insurance broker here in Calgary, Alberta. She is from Oyo State, Nigeria, a vibrant and culturally rich part of southern western Nigeria, known for a deep history, strong community values, and entrepreneurship spirit. Titi shared her journey, her lesson, and she has earned along the way with her passion, especially with helping immigrants, building financial confidence, and creating a strong future. Titi, it's delightful to have you here today. Thank you for coming, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me. I must say that you're doing an excellent job
Thank you.
with the fact that you're sharing immigrant stories. Canada is an immigrant country, and so it's so wonderful to see this. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to start by can you tell us about your early life in Oye States and what shaped who you are today?
Oh, well, yes. So, just as you mentioned in the introduction, Oyo State belongs to the southwestern region of Nigeria. And I would say that one word that I can think of when speaking about how I grew up is community. It's a culture that encourages community. Pretty much, there's this saying in Nigeria that says it takes a village to raise a child. I don't know if
Yep.
it's something you guys are familiar with as well.
we do.
Yes, so that is actually what happened growing up. It was more like I remember I wasn't brought up just by my mom and my dad. I was brought up by my aunties and uncles and neighbors
Yes.
and all of that. So that is what I can really pinpoint or talk about when speaking about my growing up years and how I grew up in Nigeria, especially where I come from. So community, my mom, my dad, my aunties, my uncles,
Yeah.
my neighbors, they
It's
all
all very
came
communal
together
living, yeah.
exactly to, teach us the right values, the way of life, and how to approach life as a whole. Yeah.
How does that help you raising three, right? You have three
So-
kids? Two kids in Canada. What are you?
Well, it's a totally different terrain
Uh-huh.
in Canada because we are busy. Like mommy is busy, daddy is busy, everyone around. We're all busy. So, but again, one of the things that I've made sure to do is that I still remember where I come from. And so I try to ensure that my kids still have a relationship with my family members, my siblings, and also the people around. So I have neighbors that I interact with, and so community is an integral part of my life. So I try to incorporate that into everything I do here in Canada, and my children can tell. They know that mommy and daddy are friendly people. They have people from my family and from my country. They have people that we even met here that we relate well with. So I believe that is something they are learning, my children particularly. They understand the importance of community, relationships. So yes.
I know. I just want to learn about like Oye history. Like there's a deep history to it when I was searching it a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you can tell us a little bit, since you are from that part of Nigeria and there's history behind that is almost in 16th century. So who's Oye? Why is it Oye State?
Interestingly,
Yeah.
I'm not so good with history,
Yeah.
but I know that Oyo State is one of the states that was created in Nigeria, one of the southwestern states, I would say, and is very rich, very rich. A lot of folkloric tales around Oyo State
Yeah.
about forefathers, ancestors, gods, and all of that piece.
Yeah.
And trust me, it is very interesting, and it's really very deep.
Very deep, yeah.
And interesting. They still practice some of these things back home in Nigeria, but again, civilization has
Starts there,
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry.
It was like one of the earliest to start even like exchanging goods in northern
Yes.
Nigeria,
Yes.
and even in the North Africa in
Yes.
general.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That is very, very interesting. So you came from a very rich
Cultural background.
cultural
Yes,
background
yes,
with
yes.
lots of communities surrounding you.
Yes.
So
And
how does
another thing I would like to mention
Yeah.
is, yes, we love to celebrate. We love to do parties.
Okay.
We have like traditional outfits that we wear when we are having occasions, just to, show that we are happy with the celebration. I'm sure you can tell that we love to, party and celebrate and all of that. So that's one thing I would say we do a lot where I
Okay.
come from in Nigeria.
Sounds excellent. So celebrations.
Yes.
So how do you feel when you first arrive to Canada? Like coming from that rich background and very communal living to Canada, how does it feel?
Yes, thank you for mentioning the differences. It's really, they're miles apart, I must say. And one of the reasons why I left Nigeria to come here was to, explore better opportunities, right? And also for myself and my children and my family as a whole. So, it's just a new terrain that we want to explore, right?
Yeah.
Home is still home. Home will always be home. We can always go back home. But I must say that I enjoy the new life. I enjoy the fact that this is an opportunity for me to interact. Canada is a highly diverse country. You get to meet people from different cultures. I got to meet you.
Yes.
From Ethiopia. And, that's the beauty about this country. And I'm really so happy that I'm in this country, just to better appreciate the beauty of life. Yeah.
Excellent. So my question, what inspired you to leave Nigeria? But I think you answered it,
Yes, I did.
both of them. So what surprised you the most in Canada life and culture and in general?
Well, I would say that one of the major things that surprised me about Canada was that Canada gave me a chance to reinvent myself. I remember the day I was coming into Canada in the airplane, I was just thinking for some very interesting reasons. It lasted for about 18 hours, right? It wasn't like straight 18 hours.
Yeah.
But all through the journey, I was filled with so much uncertainty. I was kind of worried because I had everything good going on for me back home in Nigeria, right? So it was a lot of, I had my experiences back home. So I was really uncertain, like how, what, a lot of questions on my mind. And but what really surprised me was the fact that Canada gives you the ability to reinvent yourself. Back home in Nigeria, I used to be a biomedical scientist. I was always in the laboratory, mixing chemicals together, running analysis, and all of that. So I thought, would I come to Canada to do the same thing, right? I thought, oh, what is that? What does that profession offer me? I had a lot of questions. However, when I came into Canada, I realized that it's a land filled with opportunities for you to reinvent yourself, for you to rework your life, for you to learn, unlearn, relearn. And I'm grateful to God that I was able to, navigate that season of my life, and now I am where I'm supposed to be. Of course, I can say that I'm still on that journey of becoming, but I'm grateful to God for that opportunity and that experience.
I really love that. So how do you reinvent yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. That's an excellent question. So, as immigrants, you always feel like, oh, when I leave my country, for whatever reason you're leaving your country for, when I come into Canada, Canada is going to give me like the breakthrough that I need. Like when I come into Canada, that is going to be the end to all my problems in life, right? But just as I mentioned earlier, Canada is a land filled with opportunities. However, you have to learn to be intentional. You have to realize that you have to learn the system. You have to, you do not want to isolate yourself. You want to get involved. You have to be interested in the system. You have to be interested in this new place you call home, right? So it is a land filled with opportunities, and there is so much. The land is green. However, you don't experience the beauty of the land if you do not, get interested. If you do not step out of your comfort zone. So for me,
coming from the bio engineer background and then coming to Canada, what was your first job in other word?
Oh, I need to say that. Okay. So thank you very much for that question. I realized that whatever I had going on back home is good, but I am now in a new country. So I needed to sit myself down to think, okay, what is the next step? Right? But of course, as every immigrant, when you land in Canada, what is the next thing? You need to survive. You need to pay your bills, right?
Yeah.
And so I needed to get a job, which I did. Thankfully, I think I got my first job the second month in Canada, my second month in Canada. And that was how I started the journey. And then, of course, you learn as you go. While I was at the job, I began to learn. I began to understand the system. I made mistakes, financial mistakes, and all of that. But those are the most important details that you need to pay attention to guide you on the next path for your life. And that was when I started becoming aware of what this country really is. And then, just as I mentioned, I sit down with myself a lot just to say, okay, what have I achieved? What do I need to achieve, right? And so that was how, and I learned a lot from my mistakes. So I made a couple of mistakes, and then I began to realize, oh, Canada is not my country, because many immigrants, sometimes we make that mistake. We think where we are now is the same as where we used to be. And you want to explore, or you want to use the same strategies that you used to use back home for where you are right now.
The new system,
Exactly. Yeah. Nigeria, for example, is a cash-driven system. Canada is a credit-driven system, right? So ability to understand that I am in a new environment now, and I need to understand what is obtainable in the new environment.
Yes.
So reinventing myself really required, for me, what it did for me was that I realized that, oh, now I am in a new environment. I need to understand what works. And then I now started charting my path, right? To align with what works in this new environment. And I think every immigrant needs to, understand that part of moving to Canada. You need to understand that you're in a new environment, and you need to understand what is obtainable in this environment. You need to pay attention to it. Many immigrants don't pay attention to it. And I think that is the beginning of the problem if you don't. Because if you don't, you start making mistakes. You start getting into debt. You start doing a lot of things that will, in the long run, affect your existence or your stay in Canada. Right.
So that is that's become your personal
Yes.
passion, and then like as you come here, you were like more. I think I don't know which journey you start first. What was your first job?
Oh yeah, so I got I got a job in the insurance industry
Insurance industry.
as
Okay.
a claims adjuster, and I enjoyed it.
How do you like coming from the completely different background? How do you adjust that?
Honestly, it was a struggle because I used to work in the science industry in Nigeria, and then coming to Canada, I
All of the
ventured
sudden,
into financial
yes.
services. That's insurance. I struggled a lot. I remember when I was in training, I was like, "What is this?"
It's like,
Like, it was really difficult for me to understand the concepts
Yeah.
and all of that. But as everything in life, as you go, you get better at it. And I enjoyed it. So I really enjoyed the job. Although it was really hard because you had to talk to people. Claims is you talk to a claims adjuster when something terrible has happened, right? Maybe when you've been involved in an accident or something like that. So what I do is that I'm the person that represents the insurance company
Yeah.
to provide the needs
To other people,
help them repair their vehicle, to help them get back to the position they were before the
It's
collision.
such a tough job,
Exactly.
but it's a good place to be sharpened. I
Exactly.
guess, right? You could
Exactly.
be really
But
good.
I enjoyed the job. I totally
Excellent.
did. Yeah.
Okay, so I think your financial literacy journey start when you come to Canada and got the first job. So when did you quit your job, and when did you become independent insurance broker, and why?
Okay. How many questions in one?
Three.
Three questions in one. Thank you very much for that question. I like to talk about this journey.
Yeah.
So, and I will give a backstory to that. Remember, I said when I came into Canada, honestly, I was just all about survival. I was all about paying bills. So I wasn't interested in understanding the Canadian financial system. I was uninterested. And I made mistakes. I would say that the first 12 months to 16 months of my stay in Canada was full of mistakes. And I began to ask questions. One of the major mistakes I made was that imagine you have a job and you have access to benefits, right? I was not interested. I did not even leverage any of the benefits that my employer gave me. I did not even know that I could open certain accounts that would, provide tax advantages to me. I didn't know, and nobody told me. When I look back, I remember that at some instances, some people wanted to talk to me about it, but I was uninterested. And that is the number one problem. Nonchalance, not being interested in understanding the new environment that you are in. Right?
Yes.
So, and that was why I started asking questions, because I realized that, Titi, if you continue like this, you're not going to enjoy yourself in Canada. And so I began to ask questions. Thankfully, I had a friend who just reached out to me and said, "Oh, we're having a learning session. Are you willing to join?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And so I attended the learning session, and that was how I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then my interest increased, and that was how I signed up to be a part to, start the financial services licensing journey, right? And while I was at it, I began to see things on several occasions while studying to get my license. I'll just shout. I'm like, "What?" Like I'm reading. I'm like, "Oh, really?" More like you're seeing things on the pages of a book.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm upstairs studying, and then my husband is downstairs, and I'm calling him like, come see this. So I joined the financial services industry for myself at first. But then again, while studying to get the license, I realized that I cannot keep all of this information to myself. I realized that understanding the financial services industry in Canada is extremely important. Many of us came into Canada for better life.
Yes.
And to experience better life, you need to understand financial services in Canada. You need to understand the system in Canada.
You're lucky enough like to be thrown to that job, and you get to have the knowledge and share it with others.
Yes.
But as you said, most of us immigrant coming from different country, we don't learn even back home. I mean, anywhere in the world, literally, it's not just only back home. Even here, we don't learn about money that much. I mean, we go to school, we go to universities, college, but nobody teach you about money.
Yes.
So we need to teach ourselves about money. I think that's the key point.
Yes. Many of us focus more on earning the income. We don't pay attention to how we can manage that income, how we can multiply that income, right? Yes.
We don't take the advantage and the opportunities, because the advantage and the opportunities are in the system.
Exactly.
We can only acquire them through learning, through digging.
Exactly.
So where do new immigrants like coming, or just immigrants that stayed here, not financially aware or not yet learned the lesson they need to learn, where do they get your book, or what do you recommend for them? Where do they start? Like, where is the base ground to start?
The base ground to start is to get interested. Just be interested in it. Because if you're not interested, really, even when you see someone who is willing to help you, you're not going to jump at that opportunity. So you need to understand that it is of utmost importance that you understand the system, because just as you mentioned, we have all those advantages around us. I always tell people who care to listen that we are blessed in this country. The government has set aside different financial vehicles that we can leverage to our advantage. We have different types that can align with our goals at different stages of our lives, right? So get interested, ask questions, just like I had to ask, just like I had to get interested. So get interested, ask questions, talk to a professional. Do not procrastinate.
Okay. What professional should they approach? Like, is it a bank advisor? Is it a more like, where do they go first? Because we usually go to the bank, get a card and credit card, and then work, and then just a cycle repeat itself, right? But how do people gain financial independence, and who do they consult?
Okay, so that's a broad question, and I'm not going to really we have different professionals. We have people who work in the bank. We have people who are independent, like myself. So people who work in the bank will only provide you the products and the services of the bank, right? So if you walk into the bank, yes, you're going to get some form of advice.
Yeah.
But the question is, how much of the advice will you get? And do you think they will be able to satisfy or provide answers to your questions? All right?
Yeah.
Because the bank advisor will only advise you based on what they have available. But if you talk to an independent advisor like myself, I am not affiliated with any bank. I am affiliated with several financial institutions. And so I am going to be able to, advise you based on my understanding of the various financial institutions or the various products and services provided by the various financial institutions, because various financial institutions, they all have their different products and services. And what is of utmost importance to me as an independent advisor is fair treatment of my clients, right? What matters to me is my ability to serve you exactly the way you want to be served, right? So yes, bank advisors, bank operators or bank advisors, maybe you call that of bank advisors, will help you, but they are only going to be able to help you based on the scope of the products and the services that they have to offer, right? For example, you go to Bank A, you get this advice based on the products and the services they have. You go to another bank, you get something different because they have different products and services. So yeah, I don't know if I answered that question.
Yes, yeah. So when we are consulting independent advisor, we're going to have more access to several doors, right? Instead of for a specific one
specific
back.
Exactly,
and,
yes.
How long have you been doing this? But what are in your journey for the last 3 years? What are the important lessons that you learn about Canadian financial system?
Okay, so one major lesson I learned is the fact that knowledge is power. Understanding is gold. And Canada is beautiful. We have a lot of resources at our disposal that we need to leverage. And I really want to talk about the registered accounts that we have in Canada, like the registered retirement savings plan and the tax-free savings accounts.
TFSA.
It will amaze you that we have many immigrants who do not have some of these accounts opened. And these accounts are accounts that the governments intentionally set aside just so that we can enjoy tax advantages. So I've learned that in Canada, you need to understand some of these financial vehicles just so that you can leverage them to your advantage. Did I answer that?
I think I did. Beautiful. Tell us a little bit about TFSA.
Okay. So TFSA is what we call tax-free savings accounts, and it's a registered account.
Yeah.
So anytime you hear the word registered account, you're thinking of an account that has tax advantages. So TFSA is one of those accounts. And for the TFSA, you have contribution limits. This contribution limit is provided by the government at the start of the year, right? And this contribution limit can roll over, meaning that if you do not use the contribution limit for the previous year, right, you can roll it over to the next year,
okay.
Right? But just make sure that you work within the limits, because if you do not work within the limits, you're going to trigger taxes, right? Now, the most important thing that you really want to know about the TFSA is that it's an account. So you picture it like you have a house, right? So TFSA is a house, but within that house, you can invest your money inside. Pretty much, when you're putting money in your TFSA account, you can invest the money.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who do not use the investment component of their TFSA. They just put money in the TFSA and do not invest the money.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
It has to be invested.
It needs to be invested. Now, that money, the growth on your investments within the TFSA is tax-free. And whenever you want to withdraw your money, it is also tax-free. So 2 important things to note: tax-free withdrawal, tax-free growth on your investments. So those are like the basic things that you really need to know. So that is an important thing to leverage, especially in a place like Canada where we are being taxed.
I know.
Right.
Very high.
So you want to make sure you use that vehicle to your advantage. Yes.
Thank you. That is very helpful. All right, let's move to your 2 books.
Okay.
I haven't read them yet, but I will, and next time we'll have Deb's conversation about your book specifically. But tell us about what your 2 books are about. And
okay, thank you. Okay, so the 2 books I'll say are faith books.
Yeah.
The first one is more like the experience I had. The title of the first book is Unfailing, and it's more like the experience I had while trying to, conceive. I had a few challenges here and there. So the book pretty much just talks about that journey from pre-pregnancy to pregnancy, and then
super smooth.
pre-pregnancy, conception, pregnancy, and then of course delivery. So, and it also highlighted a few stories from other women. So, but it just talks and it speaks about the unfailing power of God. So that's the first book. Now the second book is titled Focus on Your Focus.
Focus on your focus?
Focus, yes.
Oh, I love it. I want to read that one.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's just about love.
Love of what?
Love is the greatest gift of all.
Love everything. Love of everything or love of God?
Love is the greatest gift of all. Love of everything, love of God. It centers around the scripture that says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So I broke down
Power of
what
love.
I understood from that scripture, and I shared it to the world. Yeah.
Excellent. You're gonna
So
tell us
the
later.
focus is
Yeah.
love.
First.
Focus on loving your God. Focus on loving yourself, because if you're able to love yourself, then you're able to love others. So
exactly, love is above.
yes,
Like it's true.
Yes,
It also says in the Bible, that everything is there, but love is beyond all of them. So yes, love is the key.
Love is the key. Love is the
Excellent.
key.
I can't wait. Especially, I love the title.
Yes.
Focus on your focus is amazing.
Yes.
Well, my friend, I know you won't stop. You always learn. You always like on constant learning curves and improving yourself. And I'm looking forward to more books out of you, because you are a woman of very devoted woman that doesn't stop, and it is tough. We didn't meet for a very long time. I met you for very short period of time, but I would say not only you. I have few Nigerian friends. All my Nigerian friends always inspire me to do more, because they never stop.
We never stop,
and it's always going and going. And I'm blessed to have you guys around, and I'm grateful. But I'm waiting for more books, because I know there is more in you, especially about financial literacy. I really want to see a book, because I learned so much since I met you. I learned so much. You lighten up a lot of light bulb in my head that I have never knew before. So I really want to have that third book coming very soon. Finger crossed. Yes. Okay, we're gonna go back to financial literacy, and I want to ask you, what is the most mistake a migrant or client make when it comes to finance?
Getting into debt, not understanding the credit system. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
How imprisoned
how imprisoned they can be. Getting into debt, which is why understanding is key. I remember when I came into Canada, I did a few trainings here and there. We have a lot of immigrant settling organizations like the CCIS, and we have a number of them, and they did a great job, honestly. But I would say that if you're watching this and you're planning to come into Canada, pay attention to those communities, to those organizations, because they are really going to help you a lot. Ask questions, because you don't want to start getting into debt. You don't want to, because you don't understand the credit system.
Yeah.
I've met clients who told me, oh, they don't use their credit cards. And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
we understand that where you're coming from, you don't use the credit card.
Yeah.
But here, the credit card is one of the most important things you want to use to be able to achieve whatever you plan to achieve in Canada.
Yeah.
Because we have what we call credit score. If you're not using your credit card,
You could not get anything.
then
Yeah.
you don't get anything. You're not able to buy the things you want to buy just because you don't have a credit score.
Yeah.
You don't have a credit report associated to your name. So understanding the credit system is very important, and also ensuring that you don't get into debt just because you're trying to bite more than you can chew. You don't want to do that, because it's always difficult to get out of debt because of the associated interest rates that you pay back because you got into debt.
Yeah. It looks like it's free money. The thing is, we are provided the tool. Like, we go to the bank and they're just like, oh, you're approved for this. And then it looks like a free money. Like, for most of us, just came new and then getting that credit card. But it has to be balanced. It has to balance your income. You need to learn how much of that money you are allowed to spend.
Exactly.
You are allowed to spend is very little. But you think if you max it out, then you just set yourself up for failure. So you're right. We need to understand how the credit system works.
And that is why financial literacy is important.
Yeah.
I do occasional in-person meetings where we talk about everything finance. I remember the day we talked about the credit card. Even myself, because it was more of like a conversation. We had other financial professionals in-house. I also learned. So another thing you want to do for yourself is to ensure that you get into that space.
Yes.
If you do not understand it, ask questions so that you don't get your fingers burnt.
True.
Yeah.
I know there is a lot to it.
Yes.
And we cannot wrap it up in
Exactly.
a very short amount of time. I don't know if this is a broad question, but my question is, where do we start to build walls, starting from where we are right now, coming as a newcomer to Canada? Where do people start first? Just being careful of using credit card, but don't go in debt that you cannot handle or manage.
Yes. So understanding your current reality. Again, your most valuable asset is your income, right? So you have to understand that you need to plan your income. We know we have to spend, like everybody spends. But if you can, I'll say budgeting. Understand your income, know what is coming in, right? And then you prioritize, you budget. You know what your fixed expenses are, you know what your variable expenses are, the ones you can move around. Is it important? When you want to buy, you ask yourself, do I really need this, or I just want it?
Yeah.
So that way you're able to, just check and balance yourself to not buy what you don't need. Do you understand?
It's because it's a consumer market, and then
so I'll say budgeting, and you don't really need to do anything high level. I know we have a lot of resources online, a lot of people saying different things. Oh, use this app. You can even do old school. You can just put like a piece of paper on your fridge or something, and just to track. Just to ensure that you know how much the income is, how much you're spending in a month, how much you're putting into savings, how much you're putting into investment. That way you have it clearly written out.
Yes.
And then you don't bite more than you can chew. So I feel like budgeting is very understanding that your income is your most valuable asset, and you want to steward your income appropriately.
Excellent. Okay. I like that. I love it. What does legacy means to you, and how early we can start building that?
Legacy means sacrifice. For me, when I think of legacy, I think sacrifice. I think service. Understanding that I am a generation, and as a first generation immigrant, I pay the price. It's an uncomfortable price, I must say. Leaving all that you have back home and then coming here to start afresh, it's very uncomfortable. But it's sacrifice because I'm trying to build a legacy for the generations to come. So legacy is very important to me. And I feel like so long as you've made the decision to come into a new country like Canada, you need to start thinking legacy. Because all your sacrifice shouldn't be wasted. Where I come from in Nigeria, the weather is very, very normal. It's not extreme. We don't experience cold temperatures where I come from. But here I'm exposed to extreme cold temperatures.
Weather, yes.
So exposure to these extreme temperatures, do you want all your labor to count for nothing? Do you want to look back and you're like, oh, I wish I'd done things differently? So legacy is sacrifice. Legacy means sacrifice. Legacy means service. If you have children and if you're really concerned about making your immigration count, then you should start building your legacy from now. And it starts with little pieces like understanding the system, using the right financial vehicles, using tax advantaged vehicles so that you don't lose most of your money to tax. The government provided these financial vehicles for a reason, so that you can use them. So you're not doing anything illegal. You're doing the right thing by leveraging this tax advantaged financial vehicles. So building a legacy is using it. So while you're accumulating wealth, you also want to protect yourself. And that is where insurance comes in. Because if you don't protect yourself, just a diagnosis can just consume all your savings and consume all your investments. So protection first, accumulation, leverage, and then transfer, which is legacy. So because if you're not able to put all of these pieces together, legacy will not be anything. You will not have anything to transfer to the generation after you. So protection, accumulation, saving, making your money work for you, multiplying your money by investments, right?
Yes.
Leverage.
Yeah.
Can you leverage what you don't understand?
Can't.
Right. So while your accumulation, while you understand what you want to achieve with your money, make sure you're leveraging the right tools. And then you can transfer to the generation after you. So legacy is sacrifice, legacy is service, and it starts now.
Whenever or wherever they are.
Exactly.
You start from where you are.
Wherever you are. Some people actually make the mistake of, I need to wait to have a lot of money. No.
Doesn't matter.
Start where you are. Because there's a compounding effect to starting where you are. So start where you are.
Yeah.
And you'll be glad you did.
And in the insurance also, age is very important.
Exactly.
Because, with age, our health get...
Thank you for mentioning that, because you buy insurance, especially when it comes to life insurance, critical illness insurance, disability, which is paycheck protection.
Yeah.
You buy it with your age and your health.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it is urgent It is something you have to, because as soon as your health changes, it becomes more difficult. If you're healthy, you have options.
True.
But when
And
your
it's
health
cheaper too.
changes, and it's cheaper too,
Yeah.
exactly. But when health changes, then you have limited options. So you want to make sure you leverage that as soon as you can. While you're healthy, while you're young, you get your insurance, and you'll be glad you did, because it becomes more difficult as you age and as health changes. Yeah.
It's very important. Like, you know,
Yeah.
insurance, we always think like it's not that necessary, but we always we won't know until something happen in life, because
Yeah.
it's like having a backbone
Exactly.
to the family and to the legacy we would like to build, right? So
Exactly.
having no insurance is like putting everyone in a risk of
Exactly.
uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
So it's very crucial. And I like that you mentioned insurance is not for wealthy people. Insurance is
It's
for
for
everybody. The earlier you get
Get it?
into it,
The better.
the better and the cheaper it is.
Exactly.
So that is wonderful. So what is a message that you want to convey to an immigrant, independent woman, a mother that is trying to juggle motherhood, business venture, and being an immigrant, you know? So how do we balance that? And what is the wisdom we can get or learn from you?
Yes. So I'm going to say a couple of things. I would say get involved in a community. Do not isolate yourself. Do not think you can do this life alone. Do not think you can chart this path alone. It's really not easy. Being an immigrant, it's more like you're starting your life all over again, right? So get involved in a community, build relationships, be inquisitive, get knowledge. Do not isolate yourself, and step out of your comfort zone. Canada is a land of opportunities, but you are required to get intentional. You need to be intentional. You need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to go for that dream. You need to go for that desire. Many of us carry dreams on the inside of us, and we overanalyze and we overthink. You can relate to
I
that.
do. Yeah. Yeah.
But by the time you take the first step, you realize that it becomes easier to take the
True.
next
The
step,
second one, yeah.
and then the next one, and then the next one. So
But if you don't go out,
Exactly.
everything's locked.
exactly. So we have everything. We have the opportunities around
True.
us.
Yeah.
Go for it. Talk to professionals. Pray,
I know.
because that is important.
Yes.
Pray about it. Pray about it, and you'll be fine. You'll be good.
Step out is the message,
Yes,
right?
step
Step out one step at a time,
Step
and
out.
always keep moving forward.
Yes,
I
and
think.
be positive.
Yes.
Because I know there are a lot of things going, oh no, Canada is this. I'm going back to my country and all of that. No. Step out. There's a lot of beauty around you.
And
Be
associate yourself
positive.
with the right people
And
too,
exactly.
because otherwise the energy can be very negative. And
So you have to associate yourself with the right people.
True.
Yes.
And then keep grinding.
Yes.
We are blessed, honestly, truly. I do feel blessed to be in this country, because as you said, we get a chance to reinvent ourselves. And how many times do you get if you live in your home country? No,
Yes.
immigration is a blessing.
Yes,
It's really,
it's a
truly a
blessing.
blessing
Yes, it is.
to the prepared mind.
Yeah.
It really, you can reinvent, reshape yourself, and then it's just kind of getting a second chance.
Exactly.
So if we use it,
Yeah.
then we can shine.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Where is the role of faith and resilience and community played in your journey?
Oh, I love that question.
Thank you. I think
Faith,
that's
resilience, and community. Those are like three major words that I really identify with. Faith, because I'm nothing without God. Looking back at how I grew up, I have a lot of stories that speaks to the power of God. A lot. A lot of stories that speaks to how loving God is, how fatherly God is. So because I have these experiences, sometimes when you have experiences, it kind of just reinforces what you already know. So that's it. It's very important to me. I don't play with it at all. Now, resilience. As an immigrant, we all have different pathways that we actually used to come into this country. So I used the professional, we call it the express entry for professionals. That was the pathway I came in with. But I was required to write the English language test. And can you guess how many times I wrote the test?
the TOEFL. Is it the
The IELTS.
IELTS? Yes. Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you guess how many times I wrote the exam?
Once. You're a very intelligent woman. How many times do you have to write it?
I wrote the exams 9 times. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Speaking of resilience, I wrote the exam. It wasn't like I wasn't passing. I passed, but you need like a certain combination of
Yes.
yeah. So I'll pass, and then oh no, it just didn't work.
Make this.
So I had to keep writing. And I remember that, like, I think the 6th attempt, I had to wake my husband up at some point. I told him, you know what, I'm not doing this. And then he said, you will do this.
Oh.
He kept encouraging me, like, you will do this. I'm like, this is like those people.
It's very hard.
British Council,
They
the staff members, they already knew me. When they see me, they're like, oh, hello, madam.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So I was like, no, I'm no longer doing this. But I had to write it until I passed. So anytime I'm doing something, anytime I'm on a path and it feels difficult, I always remember that no, there's no giving up. You have to keep doing it. And then I look at the success stories and I'm like, if this person can do it, then I can.
I can do it too.
So yes, that's resilience. And then community. I'm very big on community. Just as I told you, growing up, it was all about community. So I understand the importance and the power of community. I don't do life alone because I know that you really can't. Especially in a place like Canada, if you do not belong to communities, how do you get certain information? Oh, how do you have access to, if you're a business owner, how do you have access to business grants if you don't belong to a community? So community is really very important to thrive here in Canada, especially as an immigrant. Because if information is not going to come to you,
you have to go to it.
You have to find the information, and you can only find the information from your interactions, from your relationships. Yeah.
What are you most proud of?
The question is what am I most proud of?
Yes.
Maybe you should guide me with a response.
You were many things. You wear many hats, but what are so far in your life? What are you most proud of?
Let's say proud of myself. It's proud of myself. No, they'll say I'm proud.
You should. You should be. I am proud of who you are, so you should be.
Give me another. Help me answer.
It doesn't really this is whatever you accomplish, you're most proud of right now. Like,
yeah,
it could be your children, it could be
So yeah, I would say that you would know how to edit it. what I'm most proud of, I'm proud of the fact that I was able to transition into the financial services industry, considering the fact that I knew absolutely nothing about finance, even from back home. Like
Yes.
when speaking about finance, count me out because I was totally uninterested.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that I was able to pull it through, because I struggled a little with understanding the concepts like tax, credit, and all of those details. I struggled a lot, but I'm proud of the fact that I was able to, transition fully into that industry. And now I'm in the industry and I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Yes, for accepting the challenge from
you.
completely from the science background to financial literacy. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how, because,
Yeah.
I was in the financial industry. Like, I've studied accounting, but I don't think I would come to Canada and jump to medical field. I
Exactly.
don't think I can.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Yes.
So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yes.
What would you advise a young person? Like, what would you say to your young self? Now you are who you are. What will you tell your 18-year-old self?
I'll tell my 18-year-old self to prioritize savings and start early. Because of the information I have now, I understand that time is very important, especially when it comes to building wealth. And the earlier you start,
Yeah.
the better. So if I look back, or if I want to give an advice to my younger self, start saving early. Even when you feel like you do not have any responsibilities, start saving. Because I think that would have really helped me a lot if I had started saving. Of course, now I'm doing all of that, but I wish I had started when I was 20, because that means I would have had like 15 to 20 years of active savings and investment. That's a lot.
That is a
So,
lot.
and it also gives you an opportunity for your money to work harder for you. Right? So, yes, start saving early, start building wealth early, and you'll be glad you did.
Thank you, Titi.
Yes.
It has been uplifting and heartwarming to hear your story. And I know we're gonna end today's session with this, but I know that we're gonna sit in this chair for more than once with you, keep upgrading yourself, and we need to learn. We didn't even finish learning about what you have in you already, so we'll do that. But thank you for coming today and taking your time and sharing all this golden information with us, because we need to learn one day at a time.
Yes.
So we learned so much from you. Knowing you as a friend, you are an inspiration for me. Your resilience, your strengths. Not only that, you have really good heart. You truly care about the people around you, the people you meet, and I have seen that from you. And keep it up. Stay true to yourself. And thank you so much for watching us today. Today's episode is going to be ending here, but Titi promised us she's gonna come back with more information. If you have any question for her, please put it down below, and I also will put her info for you guys on the screen so you can contact her directly. Thanks for watching. We will be done for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thanks.